Assistant Professor, VPM's Maharshi Parashuram College of Engineering, Bhubaneswar. So today we are going to start a lecture series on a subject fluid mechanics. So this is our first lecture on the introduction of a fluid mechanics. So first we'll see the concept of fluid. What is meant by fluid? So all the matters are only divided into two states. The first one is the fluid and second is the solid. So solid, what is a solid? Solid is if a solid can resist a shear stress by static deflection, a fluid cannot. So what is a solid? Solid, if you see here this diagram, if you applied some stress on the solid, so this body will be deflect. So deflection will be taking place in the solid. But what will happen in fluid? So if you apply the shear stress on the fluids, this deflection will be continuous. So due to that, what will happen? Motion will be created into the liquid. So any shear stress applied to a fluid, no matter how small, will result in a motion of that fluid. So that means what will happen? If you apply some shear stress, then what will happen? The movement of the fluids will be taking place. So that's why that that matter is called as the fluid. So what do you mean? The fluid moves and deform continuously as long as the shear stress is applied. So that means if you take an example of a water, so water is considered as a fluid. If you blow some air on the water, then we can see that the waves will be formed on the surface of that water. That means if you take a small shear stress on the water or the fluid, then movement will be takes place into that fluid. So this is the difference between the solid and the fluids. So what will the fluid? Solids. In the solids, whatever stress will be applied, deflection will be takes place. And in the fluid, the deflation is not taking place, but the movement of that fluid will be taking place due to the shear stress. So we can say that the fluid at rest must be in a state of zero stress. So now there are the two classes of the fluids. The first one is liquids and the gases. So all the liquids and gases are considered as the fluids. Okay. Now second one is the fluid as a continuum. What is my continuum? Continuum means a whole quantity. So now we'll see. We know fluids are aggregations of molecules, widely spaced for a gas, closely spaced for the liquid. The distance between the molecules is very large compared with the molecular diameter. Okay, and what will happen in the solids? All the molecules are closely packed with each other. So this is about the solids, and the distance between the molecules in the liquids is somewhat larger as compared to the solids, and the distance between gases, molecules in the gases are again larger than the liquids. So that's why the molecules are not fixed in the lattice but move about the freely relative to each other. So this is not fixed at condition in the lattice, but it is freely move into the lattice structure. Thus, the fluid density or a mass per unit volume has no precise meaning because the number of molecules occupying a given volume continually changes. So, if you are taking a small amount of volume, in that the number of molecules will be changing due to the movement of that molecules. But this effect becomes unimportant if the unit volume is large. So if you consider large volume, then the movement of molecules related to each other is very much small. When the number of molecules within the volume will be remain nearly constant in spite of the enormous interchange of the particle across the boundaries. So that means if you consider a large volume, in that the number of molecules will be fixed and there is no interchanging into the boundaries. This is not does not matter, but that volume we will consider as large, and in that we can measure the density and mass properly. So in that when will taking place, so volume more than 10 raised to minus 9 mm cube will be considered as a sufficient to define a nearly constant density. So that means a large volume of the fluids will be considered as a continuum. Okay, so if we take any examples, that if you take drinking a water of a one glass, that means whatever volume you consider as 1 liter as a continuous water. We are not measuring that water in terms of number of molecules. So that's why we will consider water with a glass is a continuum quantity. That means it is a continuous. Okay. Now, properties of the fluid. So in the properties of the fluid, the first important property of the fluid is the velocity. What is velocity? It is calculated as occupying distance by the fluid during the flow field over the time. That means if you consider a fluid molecules will be taking place into the flow, whatever distance covered by that fluid molecule in a specific time, that concept is called as velocity. We can say it is distance per unit time. So as per definition, velocity depend upon space coordinates and the time coordinates. That means velocity field v is the dependent on x, y, z, comma t. So x is x coordinate, y is y coordinate, z is z coordinate or the z direction coordinate, and the time t. So in general, velocity in vector function of the position and time, and thus has three components u, v, and w. That means u is velocity taking place in the x direction. Small v is the velocity taking place in y direction, and w, small w, is velocity taking place in z direction. So that's why velocity is the function of x, y, z, and t is equal to unit vector multiply with small u in bracket x, y, z, comma t, plus unit vector j in y direction multiply with small v in bracket x, y, z, comma t, plus k unit vector in z direction multiply with small w in bracket x, y, z, comma t. So this is the velocity is depend upon the space coordinates and time. Now the second properties of the fluid is acceleration. Okay, so it is defined as change in fluid velocity with respect to time change. It is called as the acceleration. So if you continue velocity is continuously changing according to specific time, then that concept is considered as an acceleration. So acceleration A is equal to dv by dt occurs in Newton's law for a fluid, and thus is a very important. So that's why what is A is equal to dv by dt. What is V? V is a capital V is considered as a velocity with respect to time. So dava v by dava t plus small u multiply with dava v by dava x plus small v dava v by dava y plus small w dava v by dava z. That means acceleration is again depend upon the space coordinates and the time coordinates, where u, v, and w are the velocity components in x, y, z directions respectively. Now about the thermodynamic properties of the fluid. So there are the three thermodynamic properties we will consider. As first is pressure, second is density, and third is temperature. Four other intensive thermodynamic properties become important when work, heat, energy balance are treated. When we consider heat, work, and energy balance, then consider some intensive properties. That means it is independent of the mass. So that means first one is internal energy, which is denoted by U. Enthalpy, small h, this is equal to U plus P by rho. Entropy S, then specific heat as Cp and Cv. That means specific heat at constant pressure and specific heat at constant volume. In addition, friction and heat conduction effects are governed by the two so-called transport properties, that is coefficient of viscosity, and last one is thermal conductivity. So now out of this, first one is this pressure. Pressure is the compression stress at a point in a static fluid or a force per unit area over the fluid surface. If you consider a small amount of fluid and whatever load is available on that fluid surface, this will be calculated over the per unit area, then considered is a pressure. Differences or the gradients in pressure often drive a fluid flow, especially in ducts. That means the difference between the pressure of the fluid flow is required for the fluid flow. If pressure difference is available during the flow, the fluid becomes in flow condition. Okay, that means fluid will flow from high pressure to the low pressure. Now next one is the density. Density is always denoted by letter rho, Greek letter rho. It is mass per unit volume. If you consider any substance and if you measure the mass of that substance during a unit volume, that will be taken as the density. Density is highly variable in gases and increases nearly proportionally to the pressure level. Density is liquids is nearly constant. The density of the water about 1000 kg per meter cube. So that means liquids are generally considered as an incompressible fluids, and gases are the compressible fluids, because density of the gases are going to change. So that's why depend upon the pressure. If you increase the pressure, the density is going to increase of that gases. So that's why the gases are called as compressible fluids, and versus liquids are called as incompressible fluids, because the density of the liquids are always constant, nearly constant. Now what here? Now next one, the specific weight. The specific weight of fluid denoted by letter gamma. So lower Greek letter as a gamma. It is the weight per unit volume. Just as a mass has a weight, that W is equal to mg. M is mass multiplied with acceleration due to gravity. So density and specific weight are simply related by gravity. That means gamma specific weight is equal to density multiplied with gravitational acceleration. Okay, so the unit of gamma are weight per unit volume. So gamma of air, that is specific weight of air, is equal to 1.205 kg per meter cube, multiply with 9.807 meter per second square, that means 11.8 Newton per meter cube. And the specific weight of water is considered as 998 kg per meter cube, that is density of water, multiply with 9.807 meter per second square, that is equal to 9790 Newton per meter cube. Now what is specific gravity? Specific gravity is denoted by letter Sg. This is the ratio of fluid density to a standard reference fluid. Usually water at 4 degrees Celsius is taking place as standard fluid for the liquids and air for the gases. So for that, if you consider specific gravity of any gases, this is equal to density of that gas divided by density of air. That is equal to density of gas divided by 1.205 kg per meter cube. And the specific gravity of liquid is equal to density of liquid divided by density of water is equal to density of liquid divided by 1000 kg per meter cube. So this is about the specific gravity. Now about the viscosity. So viscosity is a quantitative measure of the fluid's resistance to the flow. If you consider any fluid flow taking place over a solid surface, then whatever resistance will be applied on that fluid flow is called as the viscosity. More specifically, it determines the fluid strain rate that is generated by a given applied shear stress. So the fluid, it is determined the fluid strain rate that is generated by the given applied shear. If you apply the shear stress, the whatever strain rate will be taking place into the fluid flow, that is called as a viscosity. We can easily move through the air, which is very low viscosity. So if it is taking place in the atmosphere, we have air is available, so we can easily move into the air. But movement is more difficult in water. If you move into the water, then the movement will be difficult. Why? Which is water is 50 times higher viscosity than the air. Still more resistance is found in. Now next one, if you consider about SA330 oil, this is the nomenclature of one of the oil, SAE30 oil, which is 300 times more viscous than the water. That is movement of oil in movement into the oil is more difficult uh, into the oil due to the viscosity. Try to slide your hand through glycerin, which is 5 times more viscous than SAE30 oil. Okay, that means glycerin is again viscous than the SAE30 oil. Then now you see here we will taking place here the fluid particle, and we will apply here the shear stress E tau in this direction parallel to the solid surface. Then what will happen? Deflection will take place in the flow direction, that means the in stress direction. So daba theta is the deflection, so daba x there is a resistance offered by the surface in the opposite to flow. So if taking such common fluids as water, oil and air show a linear relation between the applied shear and the resulting strain rate. So if you see here, so change in velocity if taking place, velocity will be changing from no slip condition or the solid surface to the maximum flow. So that's why this is because of the viscosity effect. So what will happen? So velocity will be changing in y direction due to the fluid flow. So velocity will be higher into the mainstream. So what will happen? Velocity profile will be taking place, and this is totally due to the viscosity. Okay. Now if you see taking the slope here, du by dy. So du is change in velocity with respect to the vertical distance dy. So this is the tau is directly proportional to du by dy, because du by dy is depend upon the deflection. So tau is directly proportional to dava theta divided by dava t. So change in angle with respect to change in time. But tan dava theta is equal to dava u multiplied by dava t divided by dava u. So this angle is very much small. So that's why this dava t and dava theta, this if you're taking dava t, tan theta dava theta divided by dava t is equal to dava u by dava y. And if you solve this, angle is very much small. So that's why this ratio d theta by dt is equal to du by dy. So this is equal. So if you substitute in this equation, what we are getting? The viscosity tau is equal to mu multiply with d theta by dt is equal to mu du by dy. So what is here mu? Mu is considered as a coefficient of viscosity. So mu is taken as a proportionality constant, and this is called as the dynamic viscosity. The applied shears is also proportional to the velocity gradient. For the common linear fluids, the constant of proportionality is the viscosity coefficient mu. This viscosity coefficient mu is also called as a dynamic viscosity. So tau is the shear stress is directly proportional to du by dy. To remove the proportionality sign, we will consider here the coefficient as a mu, dynamic viscosity. The linear fluid that follows above equation are called as a Newtonian fluids. So here are some viscosity table of the uh, viscosity and kinematic viscosity of I8 fluids at 1 atmospheric and 20 degrees Celsius. So hydrogen, air, gasoline, water, ethyl alcohol, mercury, AC30 oil, glycerin, like that. So here we have the value of dynamic viscosity mu and the density of that liquid. And last one, if you see here, the kinematic viscosity. The kinematic viscosity is the ratio of dynamic viscosity to the density of that fluid. So we'll see here. Okay. Thank you.